They call it El Camino de la Promesa, the Road of the Promise. It's not on any map you can find. Not Google Maps, not the old colonial charts, not even in military archives. But I saw it. I walked it. And I'm still not sure if I ever came back. I first heard about it from an archivist named Sofia Morales when I was researching ghost towns in central Mexico. She warned me never to go looking for it. She said it doesn't stay in one place. The road appears when someone breaks a real promise, one made to God or to the dead. At the time, I thought she was just being poetic. I wish she had been. I was staying near San Bartolo, an abandoned mezcal village buried in the hills. The valley smelled like ash and dust. The air was so dry it hurt to breathe. Locals said the agave had died standing. Every plant was stiff, gray, and brittle, as if frozen mid-scream. I began filming short logs for my documentary series. Landscape shots, drone pans, quiet narration. Everything was routine. Then, at exactly 3:17 a.m., the fog rolled in. My GPS lost signal. My drone feed cut out. And when I looked down the valley again, there it was. A narrow cobblestone road winding through the dead agave fields. At its entrance stood a small, crumbling shrine with a single melted candle still flickering. I should have turned back, but instead, I whispered to the camera, "This must be El Camino de la Promesa." The shrine was hand-built, barely 2 feet tall, carved from stone and wrapped in rusted wire. Inside sat a tiny porcelain statue of a child holding a candle. The wick was still warm. Above it, carved in Spanish, were the words, "Prometi volver," I promise to return. There were offerings scattered at its base, a child's shoe, a broken watch, and a wedding ring so worn that the engraving had vanished. Everything felt displaced, like they didn't belong to this century. I left my camera rolling and stepped onto the road. The sound changed instantly. No wind, no insects, just breathing. It wasn't mine. I recorded a voice note on my phone as I walked. The file still exists. I remember every word I said. Following the cobblestone road east, visibility about 20 meters, no signs of habitation. But there are footprints. Bare, small, multiple sets leading ahead. I followed them for what felt like hours, though the moon never moved. Sometimes I saw shadows walking ahead of me, shapes that looked human until I blinked, and they were gone. Once I saw a man kneeling beside the road. He wore a white shirt and no shoes. His head was bowed in prayer. I called out to him. No response. When I stepped closer, he melted into the fog like smoke. That's when the road changed. The cobblestones began to crack beneath my feet. And from those cracks came voices. I crouched down and listened. Hundreds of whispers overlapping, echoing from under the stones. Fragments of words pleading, desperate. "I'll be back. Wait for me." I swear I didn't forget. All promises, all broken. Then one voice cut through the rest. Clear, close, unmistakable. It whispered my name and said, "You promised me too." I froze because she was right. I had promised her. 2 years earlier, before everything fell apart, I'd promised someone, Elena, that I would stop chasing ghosts, that I would stay home. She died in a car crash a month later, and I never kept that promise. The road started to twist downhill toward what looked like an old bridge. As I got closer, the air thickened. The fog grew denser until it felt solid, like walls closing in around me. I checked my camera. It was still recording, battery fine. But the footage didn't match what I was seeing. On the screen, the cobblestones were slick with something dark. And there was a tall, faceless figure standing just at the edge of the frame, matching every step I took. When I turned, there was nothing there, but every time I walked forward, I heard another set of footsteps following, half a beat off from my own. I called out Elena's name, and the fog screamed it back at me. When the echoes died, I found myself standing before the bridge, and I finally understood what the road was. The bridge connected nothing. It vanished into the fog, no other side visible. At its center stood a rotting wooden sign, "Cruza si tu promesa fue sincera." Cross if your promise was true. I don't know why I did it, but I stepped forward. The first step was fine. The second, the boards groaned beneath me. The third, I heard Elena's voice again. She said, "You shouldn't have come back." I looked down. The fog below was moving like liquid, black and heavy. And inside it were faces, hundreds of them. People whispering the same phrase over and over, "Prometi volver." I promised to return. I ran, I don't remember how long. The road twisted, folded, rearranged itself. Every step I took brought me back to the same place, the shrine. Same candle, same words carved into stone. When I woke up, it was daylight. The fog was gone, the road had disappeared. Only the shrine remained, and my camera lying beside it. I left immediately and went back to Sofia Morales, the archivist. She refused to look at the footage. She only asked one thing. "Did you make a promise while you were there?" I told her no. But that night, when I reviewed the recordings, I heard something that made my skin crawl. Right before the camera shut off, a voice whispered, "You did." And it was my own voice. That was 3 months ago. Since then, I've received 3 voicemails from unknown numbers. Each one lasts 11 seconds. Each one plays the sound of footsteps on cobblestone, a woman whispering my name, and a single distant church bell. I tried to trace the echoes in the recording once. My audio software pinpointed the source, somewhere underground, from coordinates that don't exist. Sometimes late at night, when the wind dies, I hear it again. A faint voice outside my window saying, "Prometi volver." I promise to return. And I can't shake the feeling that maybe I never really left that road. Maybe El Camino de la Promesa isn't a place at all. Maybe it's what waits for us between a promise and the moment we break it.